Welcome back to Actually You Know What, where Mal and I are talking about toxic masculinity. We talked about it last week. We're talking about it again this week. We're going to talk about it for the rest of our lives. But
Please.
welcome back. We are going to wrap up the conversation today. Where we left off last time was we were talking about why emotional labor falls into the laps of women, our laps, why it
Right.
happens, what men choose to do instead of facing their emotions, and we were talking about um,
Other
how
baby back bitches.
they are baby back bitches, right? That is exactly how we ended
The end. I'm just kidding.
it. And y'all are baby back bitches. Bye. But no, Mal asked you guys basically like, why is avoidance? Why do men consider avoidance to be a manly characteristic? And if that's
Right.
not what you think about it, then why is it something that is apparent in almost every single man, right? Why is it so common amongst men if this is something that like you're not proud of? Oh, I'm not proud of the
Yeah.
fact that I feel like men are proud of it.
It doesn't logically make sense to me because I th- I understand, I guess, to an extent, the I want to be rich. I want
Right.
to have muscles. I whatever. I understand that part of it, but I understand not wanting to cry in front of people because I can see how that might feel like a feminine thing to do. But
Yeah.
avoiding talking about any conflict or emotion doesn't make any sense to me. I think that is like so beyond. That's not, I don't know. That's like a manly thing to me to be like, I'm going to take control of this.
Yes.
I'm going to handle my bullshit in a respectful, mature manner. We're going to figure this out and then we're going to move forward. That is
Right.
like a manly thing to me, not to be
Yeah.
like, oh, this, I'm sad. I'm not going to talk about that. Bye. Like, okay,
Should
what?
you stomping your feet and kicking a trash can while you're saying that? I
Like,
don't want to talk about that. But no, I agree. It's like, how is this a manly thing? It's kind of like it reminds me of Jamie Fraser from Outlander, where like when in his younger seasons, from what I remember, he's very stubborn and he's not very good about communicating and everything. But
mm,
eventually, he's this wonderful communicator who like says when he's pissed off and why he's pissed off and whatever, and they still fight and everything, but they get through it because he's able to talk about his feelings and everything, and written by a woman, of course, so that's why he's so good at
yeah.
it.
No, ain't no way a seven or six, no, an 17th century man.
Something like
No,
that. No, I think it was 18th century.
18th century man. Is it's always like, is it one
It's
year
like
before,
I
one
think
year
it's
after?
one
It's
year
1 year
after. Yeah,
after.
yeah.
So yeah, ain't no way a 18th year, 18th century man would ever be doing any of that. By the way, I'm
No,
sure that's a dream in its own self, but let
right.
alone a man.
It's only because he had Claire there that was like it, like insisting that he
Yeah.
talk to her and everything, and it's just like. But that's what women want. Women want somebody that is emotionally mature and that can help her in those situations. And not it's not even about helping her. It's about you telling your side and talking about your feelings. And it goes along with men in the sense of, like I said, this argument I had recently where it's like, well, when you did this, it hurt my feelings. Okay, well, that was a month ago. Why didn't you tell me about it a month ago? And we could have talked about it then. Like,
And that because when people do that, it's like you're weaponizing
that's
it.
exactly
You're
what it
like,
is.
I'm
Yeah.
using this now as a defense mechanism
Right.
slash a way to make you feel like shit. And it's like,
Right.
well,
Suddenly it's an
that's
issue.
sucks.
Right. It's like, oh, why is this suddenly an issue? Oh, well, it hasn't suddenly been an issue. It has been an issue. No, but you were just waiting to bring it up until you had a reason to bring it up. Got it. Like you were just you were latched onto it. That's crazy. Because I don't shut the fuck up about what bothers me. I'm very outspoken about it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna talk about this now. Um, but so the next thing we wanted to get into was kind of talk about that, right? About
Right.
when men withdraw or they avoid or whatever. Do you think that this is manipulation or do you think that it's just lack of awareness?
Um, well, I don't know. You kind of put what you said first. Did you want to go first or do you want me
Oh, it
to?
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what order.
Yeah, I think I think it's both. Um, I think some like the worst types of men, because not all men are equal, okay? Some are terrible and some are pretty good, you know? That's the range. I'm just kidding.
Some are terrible and some are pretty good. They're okay.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. Um, but they I think the really bad ones are aware of themselves and they know that they have shortcomings, but instead of like doing the work, or the emotional labor, call back to last episode,
God.
they just use it to like get away with everything. Um, or the worst of the worst, like they'll like knowingly manipulate based on their like very limited emotional knowledge. So they'll just like, I don't know, they'll okay, she's highlighting what I wrote. I said teeny tiny little emotional
No, I
knowledge
want you to say it. You're like based on their little. I'm like, no, no, no. You said teeny tiny whittle.
with the W. While also being able to read or process emotions from others or themselves. Like, so they'll just be like, it's like, yeah, like they'll just use things to weaponize against you. Um, they won't, they know that they are so emotionally inept, but they won't
Right.
do anything about it. They're just lazy. They're just like, nope, I'm just gonna, this is how I am. This
Right.
is how I am.
Yeah. Been there. And I think it's the same thing. Yeah. I think it's a combination where it's, it's both, but I think it's both in not separate. Like, I don't think that it is either manipulation or lack of awareness. I think that if it's either manipulation or it's manipulation plus lack of awareness
Yeah.
because if as a man, as you get older, we're in our mid to late 30s. Men that we are talking to are going to be in their around our age or a little bit older. And manipulation is one thing. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's like, what the hell? I think that if you have a lack of awareness and, I've never been taught how to do that or I never had to do that, I sympathize with that. I can understand where you're coming from, but you are choosing not to get better. You are choosing
Right.
not to learn how to do that or not to sit with your own feelings and everything. There's a lot of things about myself that, I was like, well, I've never really had to sit there and think about this or do that or whatever. And you learn. You sit there and you sit with it and it's uncomfortable and you come to a lot of like shitty realizations or good realizations and you become aware. And I think that if you are not putting in the effort to learn those things, it's along the lines of weaponized incompetence is the same thing. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, at one point are you thinking to yourself, I need to do better versus like, oh, I just didn't know any better. Cuz I just didn't know any better is such a gross, icky thing to hear at around 40 years old. You've been on this earth for
Yeah.
4 decades.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, I could see and understand like a 20 to 25-year-old saying
Yeah.
that. You're still young. You're still figuring shit out. You're learning. You're trying to become who you are. But at the ripe age of almost 40 or over 40, you should be at least in the process of
Right.
getting better. It shouldn't be like I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, fucking learn, dude. I don't know.
it's ridiculous cuz it's like, as men, I'm sure you know how to do 1,000 other things that you learned via YouTube. I'm sure you could, change a tire or you can do whatever and you learn from your dad or you learn from YouTube or you learn from whatever. And it's like you can't learn how to think about your own feelings. you can't you can't like sit there and go, I'm obviously hurting her feelings because I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just not going to say anything. That'll be fine. Like,
Yeah.
what are you,
I'm just
stupid?
gonna I'm just gonna leave. I'm just gonna go mow the
I
lawn or
just
I'm just
like,
gonna
It's like
Okay.
Homer like backing into the bush where he's just like, I'm just gonna step away and hope for the best. And it's like, no, that's not what this is. This isn't what adults do. And it's gross. And if I can't even trust you to talk to me about your feelings or whatever, then if I ever have kids with this person and, whether it's a girl or a boy, how am I ever going to trust that you can talk to them about their feelings? And if you
Right.
can't, guess what? Now all that's on me too. Like,
Right. More emotional labor for you, or the cycle continues with the kids because
right,
they weren't taught how to manage their emotions.
right. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so I think we're both on the same page there. It's like I know we had written down as like, oh, let's see if we can debate this. No, we're on the same page. Like,
Yeah,
we
there's
think
nothing
pretty
to
much
debate
there's
because
nothing to debate
we're
there.
both right and we're both smart.
Yeah. So, um, we kind of wanted to bring it back to the Alpine divorce, which on the last episode we got into. And the Alpine divorce is a concept that stems from TikTok where um, a man is overstimulated, angry, uncomfortable, etc., and he leaves the situation or scene where his partner is, they're hiking or whatever, and he walks away, and she is left now in the woods, scared and alone. And this is something that men do in multiple situations when they are uncomfortable because they just simply don't want to deal with it. And there is a part of it that is, obviously them wanting to scare you. And I think part of that is also like a power thing. Like I can
Yeah.
control how much fear you have, and also I can save you. And it's
That's
like,
I think that's what we said too, is like they feel shitty in that moment, so they want you to feel
yeah,
shittier.
right. Like I feel like crap, but you're about to feel worse. It's
Right. And
like,
I'm gonna be the
whoa.
one that make you feel that way, right?
Right, which is not it's and we talked about this too on the last episode. Just to recap, that is that it's not just an emotional thing. It's not just a, oh, he made me feel bad kind of thing. It's he made me fear for my life, or he put me in an unsafe situation. This is no abuse. Like it is not a form of abuse. This is
Right.
your well-being is not my priority. I don't care how you feel in this moment. Actually, I want you to be scared. I want you to feel
Hmm.
like shit. Whereas I don't think that women do that. I know if I ever make my partner feel like shit, even if in that moment I fucking hate them, if I know that I made them feel bad, I feel bad. And like, so for a man to purposely do that is like purposely putting somebody in danger is crazy
Yeah.
to me. So that's insane.
Right. Like the first thing we talked about just now, the weaponized incompetence, the manipulation of I just didn't know better or whatever. That's one thing and that sucks. That sucks hard in relationships or anything. But this is like on the verge of, yeah, like putting someone in danger. In the worst examples of it, because I know there's like you can apply it to less scary examples, but in the more severe forms, it's yeah, it's like borderline abuse for sure.
Right. And something that we kind of like talk about is, I guess, what do you do after that? After you're in a situation where somebody has left you in the woods, has, left you wondering about, the status of the relationship in the middle of a fight or whatever, how do you then go from feeling like that to feeling abandoned to building that intimacy again, to going, oh, I want to snuggle up with you on the couch, I want to give you kisses, I want to be intimate with you, because I know that going through something similar recently is very hard for me. If we've had a really gnarly argument where I feel disrespected, I feel, like you were mean to me or you were dismissive of me or whatever else, I can't go right back to like, oh, I want to snuggle with you suddenly. Like, no, you really hurt me.
Yeah.
So, how, like,
No.
I guess, what do you, I, I don't know, like, do you think it's possible to, if somebody leaves you in the woods by yourself, or, is it even possible for you to
not divorce
Yeah, I guess, is it possible for you to go
to
back
like
into that
fix that.
relationship and be normal again? Or do you think that that's something like that heavy changes a dynamic permanently?
I feel like it obviously depends on the degree of severity. Like if it is a scary hiking situation and you're left in an unfamiliar place and you're injured or you're tired and you're literally hiking by yourself for hours trying to find your way out, that I don't think is, I wouldn't would think it was fixable in my end. I would not, I could never trust that person again. That's like
Yeah.
putting my life in danger.
Right.
If it's an emotional abandonment during an argument, I think that I can come back from that, and I have come back from that. All it takes, in my opinion, is for the person who made the other person feel that way to own up to it, truly apologize for it, make it up to you, and try to do better the next time you have an argument.
Yeah.
Um, that's like I said, that's from experience. That's from marriage experience because I have a tendency to feel that way very easily because I'm sure my childhood stuff or my past relationships or whatever it is, like it just triggers me. So, and my husband is more on the, he needs space sometimes during types of some arguments we've had, and that's fine, but I feel like when we've had those moments where we've had like a bad time and I've told him about that, usually going forward he will try to be like more like explain it to me more like I'm not mad at you. I'm not whatever. We'll talk about it later. I just don't want to talk about it right now. Like, okay, that's better than before when you would
Right.
just leave and
Yeah.
not talk to me and give me the silent treatment for hours on end or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So there is a way to come back from that type if the person, your significant other, is slightly more emotionally mature and able to get better and like understand you better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that the physical abandonment of putting somebody in danger is something that you don't really bounce back from. I think you, at that point, you're seeing this person in a completely different way. Um, I do think
Right.
that emotional abandonment, like you said, in the middle of an argument or whatever else, I do think that that's not way easier to come back from, but I do think that as long as the other person is taking
Possible.
responsibility, yeah, as if the other person's taking responsibility or trying to manage your feelings a little bit or reassure you or whatever. I think there's a lot of things that they can do to make sure, like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry that I left in this, like, or whatever, but this is what I needed, or before they leave, etc. And I think that that is something that I don't think I've ever really gotten after arguments is reassurance like that. So for me, when those big arguments happen, it's hard for me to go back and revert back to like that happy, safe space or place that I was in prior to that. Cause I'm like, you've done nothing to reassure me. You've done nothing to make me feel safe again or anything like that. So, like, it's like chipping away at me. And
Yeah.
soon enough, there's going to be nothing left for me to care about
Right.
you
And
with.
I know you're definitely the type of person that tells your significant other that's what you need
Yeah.
because I don't know if I had like said that, explained like how that makes me feel in that moment, whether the argument is my fault or not. I I don't like to feel like I'm spiraling on hours on end by myself because that's just like
Yeah.
not fair. When in your mind, you know everything's going to be okay. So you just need a moment. And I'm over
Right.
here fucking like going through the 10 stages of grief and insanity at the same time.
Right.
So not my significant other understanding that about me and my like needs um has helped him to do that and like give me what I need. But like my point was I know you've said that to some significant others that these are certain things you need, and yeah, they if they haven't given it to you, then that is very telling as to
Right.
why those relationships didn't,
Right.
last longer, because that is literally what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you need somebody that is going to reassure you when you need it and be there and keep and make you feel safe.
Right. Yeah. And I had an argument like that probably about a month ago or so where I was like, listen, let's revisit this tomorrow because I don't think we're gonna get anywhere tonight. And we were not together at that point, like physically, we were not together. We were in separate spaces, and I made sure because I was like, what would I want in this moment? And what I would want in this moment is to go or is to hear, I am not mad at you. I just don't think that we're going to get a resolution right now. You're tired. I'm tired. We're distracted, whatever. Let's talk about this when we see each other on Monday. And until then, we can just talk like normal. So essentially, we paused the
Pause.
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically what that was. And that's how I communicate. This other person did not. So it was hard, um but yeah, and I think that kind of brought us into, we kind of talked about the personal experiences, and then what healthy looks like to us. And I think I know what healthy looks like to me because I think that's what I do, and you know what healthy looks like to
Right.
you because you've been going through it. You've talked to your significant other about it. They practice it, and I think that that's
Mm,
like, I think that's really healthy. I think that that's, like you said, that's what they should be doing is,
right.
attempting to make you feel better about things. um,
Right.
so
Yeah, no, that's definitely what healthy looks like. Like I said, just somebody that's going to listen to what you want and what you need and what will help in future arguments and like do something about it.
yeah, yeah. Um, so speaking of all of this, the toxic masculinity, the emotional avoidance, the emotional labor, expectations that are placed on men, um, as well as women in all of this, with the emotional labor and everything like that. We can kind of segue into, as long as we don't have anything else to cover, I think we can kind of segue into that movie that we were talking about, which was
Ah, yes.
Ladies First, which is on
Ladies
Netflix.
first.
It's on Netflix. The premise of the movie is essentially just what would happen if men and women switched roles in the world?
Right.
And it is literal in that sense. Women are CEOs and like construction
They
workers and plumbers and and all
yeah,
that.
and they cat call and
Right.
they have the gentlewoman's club where they sip brandy and smoke
That's
and
fucking
tell
awesome.
each other bad jokes and yeah.
Right. They inappropriately hit on men, and
Yep.
it's literally exactly that. It's a role reversal. And it ended up being a movie that I thought was so interesting. I hadn't seen anything quite like this before. It's nothing, it's not Christopher Nolan movie or anything,
Not
but
groundbreaking
yeah,
cinematography and
it's nothing. It's not going to be winning any awards, but it was good in the sense of like it was really cool to see that perspective. Like
I think it
when
was really cool to see. So the main character is what's his name? Sasha
Sasha Baron
Boren.
Cohen,
Yeah, Sasha Baron Cohen. He is the main protagonist, if you will. And of course, he at the beginning. This is spoilers, by the way. Like, it's not heavy spoilers, but it's light spoilers. At the beginning is like, when you think of a toxic masculinity guy who runs a
like
company,
exactly
that's what
that.
he is. Um, and he gets somehow jettisoned into this alternate reality where the women are what the men are to him in his world. But I remember what I was telling Stephanie earlier, the main, like, I wouldn't even say criticism, but what I wish a movie like this could have done was, instead of just being a complete role reversal where women are basically just men, like, I wish it showed a man going into a world that women ran. So I know that sounds like the same to some people maybe, but imagine women how we naturally are, which is usually, you know, little bit more of in the nurturer role, but we are more emotionally mature and more uh, understanding and more willing to work out issues with anything we have, like coworkers or other companies or the world, whatever. We're more empathetic, whatever. I wish it was like a world like this protagonist got sent to a world where it was basically like a matriarchy,
Yeah.
and like he could see the women being smart and powerful in the same way, but in like instead of seeing women like make jokes at the expense of men and
Yeah.
sip on bourbon and burp and like act like men, like
Right.
see how a world run by women would really be and like how cool women are in that way. I kind of wish that's how
Right.
the movie was. I'm not mad at the movie because it was funny
Yeah.
and it was a good time and I liked it, but that was like I guess the one thing I was like, oh, if I was making this movie, that's what I
Yeah.
would have done.
Yeah. I think definitely it would have been really cool to see like you said, a matriarchy and not the role reversal and where oh well it's all about women making fart jokes and eating steaks and hitting on men, like because that's not how the world would be. Women would not be doing that. Like if the world was run as a matriarchy, that would the the women would not be catcalling men on the street. Like that's not what we
No.
do.
Maybe a little bit,
Maybe
but
a little bit, yeah, but
not to the degree that it was.
not yeah, not like I mean it was just ridiculous, but it was like it was literally an exact role reversal. But it was really cool and it was really interesting to see it. And I know what I first noticed when they do the role reversal and he wakes up in this world where, you know, it's women instead of men, is that the assistant that she had or that he had was she was black, and if you notice her hair was straight, and she would wear like these like thigh high boots or whatever, their skirts or whatever. And when she is the assistant of the woman, she has her natural hair, and she's like all the women are in like thin pantsuits and stuff like that. I thought that was really cool because I was like, I
Hmm.
love that they put that attention to her hair of being natural versus straightening it for the men to become more appealing because God forbid, right? A woman have her natural
Yeah.
hair. It's almost like women having like the theory where the more comfortable a woman is around you, the more natural her hair is going to be around you. Where like, you know, it's kind of like the like Carrie in Sex and the City when she has her hair straight, and then sometimes it's like wild and free. Um, so I really liked that. I thought that was really cool. I did think that there was a lot of stuff in the movie that was like so funny. Like I think the steak versus like the green goddess salad thing was
Yeah.
hilarious. Like all the chicks just chowing down on steak, and the
Like
dudes are like,
burgers and
yeah, and the
yeah,
dudes are eating their
and then the guy
salads.
orders a green salad and the what girl's like, that's a good choice.
Yeah, she's like the great choice. Oh my god, I love that. I thought that shit was so funny. Um, and just like the way that I think they say something about like, oh well, men can just sleep their way to the top. Like
And
he
we
does
talked about
try
that in the
that.
last episode.
Yeah, we did, like he does try to sleep his way to the top, and he
And
still
then
doesn't.
and then yeah, and then someone's like, you know, if people could sleep their way to the top, there would be more people at the top.
Right, they'd already be
Or more men
there.
or more women or whatever
Right.
the yeah.
Um, but but yeah, I thought that was really, I thought it was really good. I thought it was an interesting, like, obviously, interesting comparison to the toxic masculinity documentary
Yeah.
that we had just watched.
That was something I wanted to mention about that movie too, was you talked about the natural hair on the women.
Hmm.
I wanted to say I thought that was the best. Like if a man were to watch that in our world man, watch that, that's the one thing I'd probably want him to take away from it is to like think about how much women have to do to look a certain way
Yeah.
just to get anyone to like look at them or respect them.
Right.
Like it's literally everything. It's like down to our fingernails to like what we can eat in a day to what our hair looks like at all times to buying all these products for skincare, for makeup, shaving all the hair off of our bodies to what clothes we wear to it's literally
It's everything.
everything.
And they do have a segment on that in the movie where, like,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
He has to like
the makeover. They
he
always
has to
give
get
the
a
women.
makeover,
Yeah.
and he's he's used to just literally like taking a shower, throwing on a suit, and going to work. And the
Yeah.
guys and the other men in the alternate reality are like, no, you have to do this and this and this, and like we have to get you this.
Yeah.
Your hair looks so bad, like whatever. And it's like that's like the one thing I want men to think about sometimes, like
Yeah.
how much. And don't get me wrong, some things we enjoy. I'm not saying like all of it's the devil,
Right.
but there it's just a lot. Like no man thinks about what he looks like that much. We think
No.
about it most of the day, most of the time, and
Most of the
it's
time. But
really exhausting.
yeah, it's something that, like, I know this because I've dated dudes that do the bare fucking minimum. They can't even, like, be bothered to put a nice outfit together, where it's like you are throwing on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt that you've probably had for 12 years. Meanwhile, like, and you're barely washing your hair. And I'm over here, like, I'm washing, conditioning, I'm shaving, I'm scrubbing, I'm doing laser hair removal. I'm like, then I'm going to move on to makeup. And then I have to dry
Yeah.
my hair to make sure that my hair looks good too. And then I have to pick an outfit. And it's like, all of that is just for the looks part of it too. Like, that's just
Right.
what I look like walking out the door. And like you said, it's not just in that moment. It's also, are my toenails done? Are my fingernails done? Are my eyebrows plucked? Like, it's just all these little things that you constantly have to think about. And like, how many times, I can't even think about how many times I've gone out and I'm like, I didn't pluck my eyebrows. Or, oh, I didn't do this. Or,
Right.
oh, I forgot mascara. And if, oh my
Oh
God,
my god, I hate when I
if,
forget
if I
mascara.
forget
It's
mascara, my
happened to me
day's
like
ruined.
yeah, it's happened to me a handful of times, and I always feel like I look like such a loser, like such a freak.
I'm like,
Like,
what am I? I feel like I look like a cartoon character that was poorly drawn. Like,
and
I,
not to say, I will say, as I've gotten older, I care less. I only
yeah,
really care that much when I'm like going out somewhere. If I'm just
right.
like hanging out with my daughter and we're going to like Starbucks and like Walmart and like the park, I don't literally don't care what I look like. I might make sure I don't smell.
Right.
I might make sure my hair is in
Nice of you.
a bun or something.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like crusty from the bed. And I might make sure my outfit's like generally acceptable to
Yeah.
the outside world. But I don't care most of the time. But yeah, if I'm like trying to go out to dinner or like a movie or like a bar or whatever, I'm gonna like think a lot about what I look
Yeah.
like,
Oh
and it's
yeah.
exhausting.
You're putting effort into it. And I like, I know the way that I have my bathroom set up now is I have all the things that I use. So like my mascara, eyeliner, this. I have it all out, like, and organized so that I don't forget a step. Because sometimes you're just like in a rush or you're doing whatever, and I'm like, okay, this is what I wear when it's like bare minimum. This is what I wear when whatever. And I've lately, as of like this year, I want to say I've been a lot better about going out with no makeup on whatsoever. I've never really been somebody that's been like that. I have been better about it now, but it's still sometimes I'm like, ah, like, oh
Yeah,
God,
it's
it piles up if you don't
yeah.
do it for a while.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't really care as much, but if I like run into somebody that I know,
Yeah.
then I'm like, God, I wish I had done
No. Well,
something
it's
because I'm
always
like,
when you run into somebody is when, like, you look your
yeah,
worst. It's like, God forbid I run into anybody when I'm dressed up. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's a constant thing. And I think nails is something that guys don't think about until they see somebody that has chipped nails or no nails.
or
And
like yeah, or like really short, like baby
yeah,
nails or something.
right. Like, you're not going to think about it until you see it or come across it. And I remember I saw it. I think I saw it on a video once forever. That's why I started wearing false nails, because I'm somebody that bites her nails and I have gross nails. And I was like, oh my God, now I have to think about this too. Like, oh my God, now I have to, like, do a whole, add a whole nother thing to my routine because I don't have nice nails. Um, and yeah, it's just like, in toenails too. And these are not things that take 2 minutes to do. They take forever to do them.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just that's why when he goes through his home makeover, it's almost like in Devil Wears Prada when Andy goes through her makeover and, like, suddenly she looks like a different person, which is so funny because with him he looks the same. He just has like a nicer outfit on and a little bit of
Like
makeup.
his hair is like not gray anymore.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah. But it's like so funny because they're like, oh, you got to do this. You got to throw some makeup on here, throw this on, like dye your hair, lose this pooch, go to spin, go to like, it's so, things that are just that society's constantly like putting on women and telling them to do so that they can look better, so that they can get noticed. But you don't want to get too noticed either. Like that's the other thing. And they talk about that kind of in the Barbie movie where it's like you want to be pretty, but you can't be too pretty because then you won't get taken seriously. And it's
Right.
just like it's such a ridiculous happy medium that you have to think about. It's like, well,
Right.
you can't be too relaxed about it, but you can't be too over the top about it either. And that's what for
Right.
work. like,
Right. Right. Yeah,
um,
no. That was probably the best part of that movie to make
yeah,
to make you think. And I think the men in the alternate reality also were like you could tell they were devoid of the toxic masculinity trait, and it's just like I don't think I think women were kind of toxic in the alternate reality, but it's just crazy just when I told Roy when the men were acting like women, in the alternate
yeah,
reality, I was like, they're actually, these men are actually more attractive to me.
yeah.
And not because of the looks thing, but because like I want to hang out with those guys because they're like nice
Right, because they were like
and
gossipy and like
they care about people.
yeah,
And yeah,
and also like it is kind of nice though to see that they kind of cared about their looks too. Whereas
a little
like
bit.
it
Yeah.
is kind of nice because you do want a little, you want somebody that cares a little bit, but like not the whole nine. Like right, that was so
Yeah.
exaggerated, but it was like I did right. I like how they're like sitting around talking to each other and like kind of gossiping a little bit and like whatever else. I'm like, I want to be in that circle. How do I get in there?
Yeah.
Um, but um, but yeah, I think the last question on here that I would want to ask is if society actually switched overnight. So let's say that it switched not to a matriarchy, but just like it did in the movie where all of the roles were reversed. And like, what do you think is the hardest thing? I guess not going off of the movie and what he thinks is the hardest thing, but what do you think would be the hardest thing for somebody like, a man that we know, like hardest thing to
Right.
accept or whatever else? I
Rough.
think the hardest thing for
Honestly,
them would be the getting ready, the looking pretty every day.
yeah, I was literally gonna say, honestly, I think it would be like having to think about how much they'd have to think about how much they look. Like
Yeah,
it's just like I said, it's just it takes up so much time and energy to like think about what you look like all the time.
right.
And I think that they would be surprised at how like exhausting that is and just incredibly taxing on your mental health too, you know.
Right.
I really think that would be it. Or might be also the the power, the lack of power because as women, we know we're powerful. I think most women know that in our core. And we've learned over the years how to use the power without maybe getting noticed by men in a way. Sneaky power, if you will.
Ah, good old sneaky
But
power.
I think, yeah, the little behind the back power, like how that saying is, like behind every behind every successful man is like a good wife or you know
Yeah.
what I mean, like
Yeah.
a good woman or something like that. Because the man has to show up for work, but the woman has to literally organize his entire freaking life. Um, but not just that, but like I feel like a lot of women um know how to like if they're with a powerful quote unquote man, like a political figure, let's say.
Mhm.
Some women in history have known how to manipulate their husbands' opinions or actions in certain ways by whatever. Like I'm just saying, women have power, but they don't flaunt it because it's not safe to.
Yeah.
So I think if the roles were reversed, men would be very shocked at how that feels and like they wouldn't know what to do. They would be like, "Oh, I don't know.
I don't
How
know what
do
I'm
I do
doing.
anything?
Right.
I can't just do whatever I want."
Right. I think that would
So,
be, yeah, that would
yeah.
also be such a culture shock for them where it's like, just
Mm,
because you are a tall, man that is in decent shape, now you're in the top 1% of men, right? Well, that's not the case anymore. Because like
Right.
it's like with women, I mean, how many women do you know that are just like so pretty? And then how many men do you know that are like super good looking? It's like the ratio is
Right.
crazy. So, but it's because women put in obviously all that effort and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I think that that would be a, yeah, like a huge culture shock to a man to go, wait, what do you mean? Like but I'm tall and I'm and I'm white. What do you mean
Right.
I don't run the
I
world
can't get whatever
suddenly?
I want all the
Yeah,
time.
like I think that would be really interesting. And like for them to like not be able to do the things that they like to do, like go running at night, would be
Oh man.
crazy. Like imagine
Don't, yeah,
a world
don't
where
do anything
like,
at night by yourself,
yeah,
actually.
don't go grocery shopping at night because then you got to walk to your car by yourself. And like, oh, if somebody dropped a purse or something by your car, make sure that you're not picking it up and you're not, like whatever. And when you get in your car, you lock your doors right away. I think it's a lot of little things that like
Yeah.
men don't
Yeah.
ever think about, that actually I'm just now thinking about too. Is that like, wait a minute, we do what
Don't
like
even get me, and don't even get me started if the roles were reversed and men were the children, uh, they, took
oh,
care of the
like, oh
kids.
my god, if they were like,
How often I think about me and Evie getting human trafficked.
yeah,
It's wild.
yeah.
Like, I
You got to
I
think
shouldn't
about
have
it
to
all
think
the
about that.
time. Yeah, no, you have
Right.
to think about something like that all the time. And like, I was thinking about that the other day because like one of my neighbors, she lets her kid, they only live like two or three houses down, but she lets her little girl like walk all the way to like the end. She's got to be about Evie's age. She's got to be about 2 years old. And like the other day, she was completely naked. And she was just like wandering around. And I literally like I looked around because my dad was over, and I was like, "Why is there a naked baby in my backyard?" And I was just like, her mom's got to be around here somewhere too, right? And I'm like, why is nobody making a bigger deal out of the fact that there's just a random baby in my backyard? And I like was looking around, and then finally like her mom came and grabbed her, but I was like, that's too far. Like you guys are too
That's
far apart right now.
wild.
I know. I
I
think
didn't even Evie's shirt for her like actual birthday kept falling and you could see her little baby nips
yeah.
and I felt
Like I
I
needed
was
to
like
cover up.
upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not because I think that's gross because it's not
But
the
people out there are
beautiful baby
perverts.
child, but
Yeah.
there's like creepy fucking people
Yeah.
out there
There's people that are
and I
really
don't
fucking creepy, and like the fact that you have to think
disgusting.
about that, where it's like
Right.
instead of thinking of like, oh my god, this is my cute little baby, and like her clothes is a little baggy on her, she's so cute. It's like hide her, get her away from
Yeah.
people. But yeah, no, this baby was just like completely naked in my backyard, and I was just like, where is her mom? Because literally
Right.
anybody could come off the street right now and snatch her, and you would never catch them. And like maybe
Or be
that's just me.
so
That's
terrifying.
me overthinking. But almost like because we live in a safe
No,
neighborhood, safe street, whatever. But still, it's like you never
you never
know
know.
what people are, or like what if like one of our neighbors is a creep? You don't know. Like I don't. I just like, and I think it's the little girl that always like draws on my patio with the chalk. So I just want to like be like protect her. Like, what the hell? Like, it was just weird to
Yeah,
me that I
please,
was the only one that was
please stop.
like, where is this child's, like, why am I keeping what? But then it's also like, well, I also don't want to like stare at your baby because like it's not my baby, but also why is there not an adult near her? Like, it was bizarre. It was
Yeah.
so weird. I
At,
completely forgot to mention
at
that to you.
least put
Put a t-shirt
at
on
least put a
her.
diaper
Put
on. Like
something on her.
at
No,
least a diaper, dude.
dude, I was just like,
Yeah.
I literally for like a second, because then I recognized her and I was like, I think it's the lady that lives like two houses down. But like, and my first reaction was, did somebody drop off a baby like to my backyard or something? I was like,
You're right.
what is happening? She's like frolicking through the glass. I was like, I can't believe I completely forgot to tell you about that the other day.
That's
That was a day where there was so much happening.
yeah, that's wild.
I know, but
That's wild. But
yeah,
yeah, all that to say, it's just like those little unsafe moments that I know men would probably think about the kids in some way in our reality. Like
yeah,
everyone really does. But it's just like being a woman alone with your child without a man around. You think about stuff
yeah.
way more than I'm sure a man would. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right. Yeah, I think men would be flabbergasted at like all the different things that women think about. And now you add a child into the mix, and that's like a whole separate thing.
Right.
So, but yeah, well, we covered a lot in the last couple episodes, and all of it revolving around toxic masculinity
Yeah.
and men versus
I'm
women
sure
and
this won't be
everything.
the last
So
time we cover
no,
this either.
it definitely won't be. But I'm glad that we talked about that. I'm excited for the next episode that we record here soon, where we're gonna talk about a lot of different things and the reason why we're drinking LaCroix and waters tonight. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to us yap and yap and yap.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
Hopefully the quality sound or the sound quality is good on this, and we'll be able to pump out some more episodes soon. We appreciate you guys as always.
As always.
As always, we'll catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. Actually, you know what?